The French and Indian War. The English and their efforts to expand their North American empire. Perhaps it was inevitable that the English and the French should come into conflict in North America. The two countries had been in conflict with one another from as early as 1066, and as they competed with each other for colonies on the world stage, it became more and more obvious that they were trying to best each other in their quest for the riches of the world. With their colonies so close to each other on the North American continent, it was only a matter of time before fighting between the two began. In addition to controlling the St. Lawrence River Valley, the French had also claimed all of the land drained by the Mississippi River, which meant all of the land between the Appalachian and Rocky Mountains. This brought the Catholic French settlers into close proximity with the Protestant English colonists. Neither group wanted anything to do with the other, and as the British eyed the land around what is now the Ohio River to take advantage of the fur trade in the region, the religious conflict between the two grew. Because the French were more likely to trade than set up colonies, the Amerindians of the region also sided with the French. All the English had done since their arrival on the Atlantic coast was to try and push the Amerindians out of their way, which led to about 12 wars between 1622 and the 1750s. Therefore, the Amerindians were a little bit leery of the English and their intentions on the western side of the Appalachian Mountains. So all of these factors were in the background as Virginia Militia Major George Washington put together a group of planters to move across the Appalachian Mountains and confront the French who tried to build a series of forts along the Ohio River. In May of 1754, Washington and his militia and Amerindians loyal to the English crept close to the French camp at Great Meadows, to the south of what is now Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. While the Amerindians did not openly fight the French, they did prevent them from escaping, while the English killed 12 and took 21 prisoners. These were the first shots in what would become the French and Indian War. The French sent reinforcements and their Amerindian allies to the region, and at the beginning of July 1754, and they forced Washington to retreat from his hastily built fort called Fort Necessity. This retreat was a sign of things to come for the English at the beginning of the conflict, as they lost a series of battles to the French and were in danger of losing the conflict overall. However, by the end of the war, the English had rebounded and were able to defeat the French. The colonists had aided the English greatly in the war, helping to win a number of battles and capture chunks of land. Because of this, they expected a certain amount of consideration from the peace that was to come. In 1763, the two sides signed the Treaty of Paris, which did a number of things, but as far as the colonists were concerned, it did one thing of note. It gave the English the land between the Appalachian Mountains and the Mississippi River, the land that Washington and his group of Virginia militia had scouted out in 1754. Unfortunately for the colonists, they would not be allowed to settle on that land, prompting them to get angry with King George III.